Okay. Heyo everybody, Haku here. I think we're finally live. Sometimes I feel like it is tough to tell when you actually go live, but I think we're good now. I think everything is set up properly. Sorry that I'm 3 minutes late. I was still trying to set things up at the very end because my usual thing that I use for what is it? That I use for the afterwards and stuff is my usual thing wasn't big enough for you to see the entire tier list, so I switched over to this. That way you'd be able to see everything. So we have the character tier list here. Thank you to Pate Ardialo, who set everything up, put it all together. It's got all the characters from Season 2 up to Episode 100. I decided to go ahead and do one now because we're kind of midway through. It's going to be months until we get to... it's going to be months until we get to the next the end of the season when I can do another one, and this is where the series went into a hiatus anyway, so I felt like this is where it went into a hiatus. This is going to be a pretty good place for it. Hello Piper. Sorry, my voice is still all messed up from when I was sick. Hey Pate and hey Piper, sorry about my voice. Sorry, but yeah, either way, I am excited to get to go through and do this. I'll probably do, I don't know if I did it similarly last time or not. I'm gonna get some water, see if that helps. Hello, Farron. See if water helps any. But I think I'm probably going to go through some of the characters that are kind of just background, nothing sort of characters first, kind of work through those, and then get through the important ones, save like the really important characters for later on. I'm nervous to like clear my throat like that because I don't know how loud it'll be in the mic. But yeah, this is starting off really, really scuffed because I cannot get my voice under control. Everything looks good though, so I guess let's start. I have in another window, I've got the character list open. That way I know who is who. Hello Corey. So yeah, I guess either way, let's go ahead and start. Before we start, we have S through F tier, which is usual. We have Who Are You, and we have Who Are You But Cool Design. Sorry about that. So to start, oh my god, it got even worse. Man, it hasn't even been like this when recording. What the heck? Yeah, voice is not collaborating. What the heck? That was so weird. That was really, really, really weird. Sorry about that. But the first three are the sword test supervisors, and for me, personally, I don't really know the sword test supervisors as characters, so they're kind of gonna be in a who are you kind of tier. Like, I remember them vaguely, generally, but I don't remember them as like individual characters who actually did anything as individuals, so I can't really rate them too highly. Also, I may need to do an S++ tier for some of these characters later on. But for right now, they are Who Are You tier. And then, let me check who's up next. We have Agni, Agwen, and then a Ananta Diplomatic Gnostica. So again, this is going to be one that I vaguely remember the design from one of the flashbacks, but I don't like really remember them as actual characters. So I'm just gonna run through some of these first, and then that'll give my time, give me a little bit of time for my voice to warm up and everything. And once I do that, then we can get to some of the really important characters. But yeah, sorry for starting off a little weird. Sorry if it seems like I'm rushing anything. If there are any future problems with anything, just let me know and I'll try to fix things on the fly. But either way, let's see who are the next few characters. We have the Ananta Shura that was chasing I have no idea. Is it Asha that what they were chasing? Let me see. Chasing Rish. Oh, okay. And then we have Ananta, Ari, Asha. I was so unused to seeing this panel for Ari. I'm so unused to seeing Ari in like high detail. Ananta himself, I feel like we haven't got much character from yet from the flashbacks. I want to see more though, because Ananta's pretty much already been gone, even in the flashbacks we've seen. And also, this is just a random Shura. Just kind of knocking out the random Who Are You characters. Then, next up, we've got Ari, Asha, the Atera Magic Union person, which is just a random character. Then, from there, we have Claude and Clofi and Cloche, Clary, Brilith, Elwyn, characters I already know. Ernst Seiran. I legitimately, this is somebody who may have even done something, given that they're a Seiran. I legitimately do not remember Ernst. Like, I actually don't remember him. Like, I'm assuming they're a Seiran. Oh, it might have been, was that one of Rish and Rush's parents? And then, hey Thibault, or Thibault. I think the rightmost Ananta, or is Ananta Shura that died. Yeah, they were chasing Rish. I'm assuming that maybe this is when Asha saved Rish during everything. But yeah, I don't like really remember them as like a character. And then Piper says, I want to say a lot about Ananta if I can because spoilers. I'm assuming that's true for pretty much all of these characters, but yeah, especially important ones. But yeah, I don't remember Ernst, to tell you the truth. Okay, let's see who we have next. We have more characters we know. We have a fighter half, another fighter half, and then another test swordsman final person. I remember more of the sword test final person because they were important to what was, well, not really important, but they were there with like Clary and Zard and Ron and everything while Lise was taking the test. But again, I don't know them as a character. I'll put the halves in cool design just because I like halves. But yeah, just also don't really remember them as characters. They were just part of one of the rescue teams, I think. Then let's see who else we have. We have a Gantarva Nastica and a Gantarva Rakshasa from the flashbacks. That is a cool design, but again, I don't really remember them as characters. Same here, they don't even have names yet. If they don't have names yet, I'm probably going to have a difficult time with them. And then there will be many nameless halves, says Pate. We have Gantarva, the girl, the girl with candles, rizzed by Agni. Right, right. Sorry, I'm making so many weird noises that for the past, like, month or two I would have had to cut out while recording. Then guy selling Teo, the resistant glove, guy whose mace got crushed by Yuta. I vaguely remember that. More halves from the search teams. Okay. So, let's see. Let's get through some of these characters. There's the guy whose mace got crushed. He was like an actual background nobody. They had his mace crushed by Yuta. Another background nobody. The girl with the candles is kind of funny, so I'll put her in C tier. Even though she isn't really a character, she literally was just in one scene when Agni summoned himself through the flames, or transported himself through the flames. But still. Then we have halves from the party. Again, I'll put them in cool design, but actually, wasn't this guy a jerk? Wasn't there one of them who was like a jerk? I don't remember correctly. But if he was, he looks like a jerk. I'll put him in F tier. And then, who was this? Was this just another half? I don't remember who this was. Oh yeah, another half in the search party. And then we have Hanuman. So another half from the search party. I'll just throw him in there. Okay, eliminating some of these characters. And then Corey says, no problem, keep yourself hydrated. The panel for Ron is an interesting choice. Yeah, I noticed when I looked earlier. And then Piper saying, you haven't spotted him. Hard to miss once you notice it. Then, let's see. Who else do we have? We have Hura, Kalavinka after Hanuman, Kali, the Kalablu Magician Union people. Okay, they are nobody to me so far. So let me go ahead and remove them from the running. Where were they? Oh, here they are. Yeah, I have no clue. They are nobody to me yet. Next we have Cossack, and then a kid helped by Lutz. Right, and the other kid helped by Lutz. And then we have Lila, Lise, Lenny, and all. Okay. Honestly, to tell you the truth, Lenny could kind of go in nobody character so far. But we have the kids that got saved. They're just random kids. Then Lila, Lise, Lenny, Lorraine, Lutz. Who is that after Lutz? Oh my god, I feel dumb not recognizing people. After that's Makara and Manasveen. Okay. Marna, Menaka, Par. Person criticizing Asha and person announcing that halves are acting strangely. Another person in Lutz's group. A bunch of person in Lutz's group. Okay. And person in Teo's search party. A bunch of those. So I can kind of go through all of those next. Alright, so let's just get through all of those. Random person here. Random person here. And then another random person here. I kind of like the scarf though, so it's a cool design, why not? Same. Random person. I like the hair color. I like the headband. Was this another random person? The panel almost reminds me, because I guess of the staff coming out the back, and the outfit style kind of reminds me of Tower of God Huadian. Who was this? Person in Teo's search party. Okay. I'll just throw them also in. Who are you? Because again, they were just random search party people. I don't remember them as characters. There were a few, like, that talked to Sierra or Claude or Asha at various points that I was kind of like, ooh, their design's neat. It'd be pretty cool if they became like an actual character, but they never ended up doing that. Like random people at the temple and stuff, but they never ended up becoming a character. So far, at least. You never know when somebody can grow in importance later on. And then we have a few more random search party people. So random search party people can go in here. This one's kind of neat, but still. And these were part of Lutz's group, I believe. And then this is the one who was giving the report to Saha, I think. And then we have Pink Person. Who is Pink Person? Let me double check, make sure everything looks alright. Pink Person is person criticizing Asha for defending Yuta. Okay. And I don't know, it looks like you are a half, so I feel like the target's already on you. You probably don't want to. I chose that picture because I find it extremely funny. Okay, because of the Ron stuff. I mean, the search party are pretty dead, so probably won't be important. Yeah, pretty much all of the search parties. Like, they're not all the same. Lutz's people are fine, but yeah, the actual search party people, they are not going to be important. Again, unless we mess around with some more time stuff. But I don't know that we are. At least not to that degree. But the design is cool there. Then we have Prawl, Ron, Rana, Rowlees, Ryagara, Rish. Rish's assistant, I think, is this guy. Let me look back at the list of names. That is Rish's assistant. Okay, Rish's assistant is unimportant enough to rank. I'll just throw him in, like, D tier. He's kind of uninteresting to me. Some people might like him for like him being just dragged along by her and forced to deal with all of her stuff, but he wasn't that great to me. Then Thibault says, when I did this tier list, I had and I know who you are but don't care section. True. I don't know. I feel like most of the ones that I know I'm probably going to care about, these I might know in the sense that, like, oh yeah, they were part of the search party, but I don't like actually know them as characters. I don't even know their name or anything, except for Ernst, but I legitimately am memory holing him right now. I absolutely can't remember him at all. And even some of the more important ones with names that I'm skipping over for now could still kind of go into Who Are You, to tell the truth. Like Hanuman, we really don't know much about, but she's just so cool that I'm pretty interested. And you saw how that went back in the Season 1 tier list. We have Shes, Shuri, Shakuntala, Sagara, Saha. We have Risha's mansion guard in here and the butler guy. He can go into Who Are You. Same here. Those two did not leave as much as of an impression as the assistant. I feel like we saw the assistant a lot more. But then we have more characters that I actually know. More characters I actually know. And then who is that after Sierra? After Sierra is Takara Shura. Oh, is that one of the ones that were attacking? Oh, attacking the Gandharva clan. Okay. And then we have the teleporter from Luta's group, the Earth Temple employee. That's the one I was thinking of. That I was hoping they'd be more of a important character. And then Thibault says, I didn't have the name, so I know meant I can tell where your panel's coming from. And Pate said, when I prepared this tier list, I forgot to name Ernst's picture, and it took me so long to figure out who he is again. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I just do not remember him. So going through some of these last few that like aren't real characters to me, not really a real character, but cool design. Cool design, but I just don't know who you are yet. They could be important in the future since they were the group teleporter. And then actually the Earth Temple employee, I liked a lot of their scenes. Sorry. I liked a lot of their scenes, like I mentioned before, with Sierra and Claude and Asha. And I was hoping they'd get to be like a real character. They could maybe be in the future, but I liked them just as is. And they actually had multiple appearances, lines that they were speaking to people. So I'll put them above the random Candle Girl into B tier. And B tier might seem high, but I just like fun characters, even if they're not really that important. I like fun. And most of these important characters, like especially our main characters, they are going to be dominating S and S plus tier, and like I said, I might even need to make an S plus plus tier because the characters in Kubera are so good. So let me grab some water again really quick. At least I'm not coughing though. That would have made this so much worse if I was still coughing, like after every line basically. Let's see, who else do we have here? We've got, again, people I know. There was Teo, Tilda, and then who is next? Let me check the name list. I gotta check it for some of these I don't know. Urga 3 or Urga the 3rd? Urga Lil? Urga Il? I do not remember. And then Urvasi, Vishnu, Wrestling Quarter, and Yuta and Zard. Okay, so only two more that I don't really remember. Let me go through those two. The Wrestling Quarter, I mean, I remember from when it was from when Lee's had transformed into older Lee's and was going around and stuff, was when we dealt with the Wrestling Quarter doing the arm wrestling thing. And then Urga, I don't remember. She might have been in the Gandharva flashback, maybe. That might have been it. Okay, I was trying to get the cursor off of those. Yeah, she might have been from the Gandharva flashback, but I don't recall. Sorry, just checking everything. Urga Il, she wasn't named in the webtoon, but she's always around Prawl. Okay. I do not recall. Yeah, I don't remember her even being around. Like, even the explanation, don't remember anymore. Okay, now then, we have characters we actually know now. I'll try to go through some of the more minor ones and leave some of the more major ones that we've seen more out of. So let's go through. Let me pick off some of the more minor characters. Who? Oh, that was Ari. Again, I almost didn't even recognize Ari with like a more detailed, like not chibi panel. I'm so used to seeing chibi Ari. Ari's pretty funny. I would still go like B tier though, probably. I'm questioning A tier, but I'll say B for now. Then we've got Clary. Clary, I like Clary, but she is just kind of normal. She didn't really do much outside of having to be stopped when all the Gintarva halves were going crazy. I would... Do I like Clary more than Ari, though? Ari was funnier, but Clary has a cooler design. That's my opinion on the two of them. Ari's funnier, Clary has a cooler design. They're pretty equal to me, though, I think. And unironically, I like the employee for the Temple of Earth more. Unironically, I like them more. So I guess I'll just leave it like this, since Ari's thing is more like character related. And Pate says par S+++. And then Rooster said, I'm caught up to the newest chapter. Reread the series 3 times, yet I have no idea who most of these characters are. Yeah, we got rid of the small ones. Irie, it says on the thing Ari, doesn't it? Is this Irie? And that's why I was like, I don't remember Ari looking like this. Yeah, it says Ari on the thing, but I guess it was just a typo. Okay, so this is Irie. That's very different. That definitely changes things. Okay, that explains why I didn't recognize him, why I was like, I'm really not used to seeing him in such a detailed panel. Okay, so it's Irie, not Ari. That doesn't change my opinion drastically. I know a lot of people absolutely love Irie, but she had the fight back in season 1. In season 2, she just kind of exists. We learned that she's Claude's sister, but there were hints from that back in season 1 that I just didn't know until going back and rereading. I don't know where I would change Irie. And then Pate said typo, my bad. And Ari is actually his nickname. So yeah, I thought this was Ari, that's why I was ranking. So if you wanted to know where Ari would be ranked, it would be right here. If it's Irie, I don't know. I guess I've got to put Irie a little higher, but not like I don't like Irie drastically more. Like the fight in season 1 was cool, and the interactions with Lorraine are good, but there's not like a ton there for me. I like Irie. I'm just not really like a super fan like I am for some of the other characters. Let's see, who else do we have? We have Elwyn. Elwyn is kind of just there. I mean, Elwyn's an important plot device to make certain characters. Like, Elwyn's used as a plot device, and what I mean by that is, like, Elwyn is used, and Tibel says, was Ari not in season 2? I guess not. And then Stephen Dacian, I was confused why Irie was so low. Yeah, I was thinking it was Ari. Okay. So, Elwyn is used to get characters to go do things, to get, Teo to go outside of the city and stuff, but also to show us things about the other characters. Show us, like, how Ryagara treats Elwyn, and then show us how Marina treats Elwyn, and things like that. It was used to show us how other characters, like, it was to show us more about the personality of the other characters, and I guess we kind of get it with Yuta too, but also to have characters do certain things, get certain information, go certain places. But Elwyn herself, like, personality-wise, I don't think, and Gintarva too at the end, we had Gintarva. But Elwyn herself, I don't think really had actual character moments. So I'm torn between bottom of B and top of C. I'm going to go top of C for now, though, I think. Then, who else do we have that I think didn't get much time? Hanuman, we just basically saw kind of like a few panels of, but I think Hanuman is so cool already. I mentioned it when I did the reaction, that I love how Hanuman is usually like a masculine figure in Indian mythology, and we shifted things up and had a female Hanuman, and I thought that was pretty cool. But then again, Hanuman's probably a Gnostica, right? So she can probably change. I don't know if I want to go Who Are You But Cool Design, because we haven't had much character stuff, or if I just want to go ahead and go up to B tier just from presence alone. Like, no character stuff yet, but presence alone, B tier. I would go above Clary, but below the Earth Temple employee. Wait, check chat. And then Hanuman seems to have appeared in only 1 panel, but she was in 3 total at least. And then the relationships that Shuras have with halves and what they usually think of halves in general. True. I mention it a lot with Marna, but one thing that I really, really love about Marna's character that makes Marna to me a bit more complex is how Marna views Shura and treats Shura versus how Marna treats and views humans. So when it comes to humans, Marna killed the entire search party. And like Gandharva's upset. He's like, "What? They're just humans." Like Marna doesn't care. Marna goes around red skying a bunch of villages, wiping a bunch of villages out, and Marna just does not care. He's like, "Yeah, it's just humans. Who cares? Humans or whatever." But we see that a lot of other Shura treat halves pretty badly. And a lot of other Shura treat like minor, lesser Shura badly. They're like, I'm a higher rank than you, so I can treat you terribly. Or they literally treat them as just food. Like, it's like, these minor Shura, they're just food. But we see multiple times where Marna treats halves really nicely, goes out of his way to save and take care of halves. He even does it with lesser Shura, like, was it in Upani, or maybe even a lower rank than Upani? Maybe it was even Mara. Gandharva Shura back in season 1, where he did everything he could to spare it, when usually these greater Shura would just eat them. So I think it's really cool how he is more empathetic and more kind to lesser Shura and halves than the other greater Shura are. But when it comes to humans, he's like one of the cruelest, and I mean, like, all of the greater Shura are kind of like, whatever about humans, except for the ones that have been around them, like Gandharva or Yuta. But, and then Pate says, I think the Gandharva Shura was Amara indeed. Yeah, I think it was like a really low rank, like even lower than Upani. So, again, he's like so compassionate and kind compared to the other greater Shura when it comes to Shura. But then on the flip side, even if he isn't as callous toward, like, isn't more callous toward humans than the other greater Shura, because the other greater Shura don't really care much about humans either, except for like Yuta and Gandharva. But I think the difference is that we get to see Marina's cruelty toward humans, his cruel treatment of humans. We get to see that actually happen on panel more when it comes to just wiping them out and killing them. Piper says, all Shuras treat other Shuras as food. Shuras eat other Shuras naturally. Marna's not more kind. He's kinder to his clan or his allies to his clan, but he'll eat lower Shuras as well. I know that's true, but again, with what we see on screen, when we see him interact with halves and like lesser Shuras, it's definitely been different to how a lot of the others have. He's definitely been a lot nicer to halves than some of the others have been. And I think it's the interesting, like, juxtaposition of the way he treats humans and the way he treats Shuras. But let's see, who else do we have that was relatively minor? Kali, like, we just know a lot about. She really hasn't done much of anything as a character. Honestly, she went to get milk and left Taraka to raise her son. I don't know, C tier. Like, she isn't really much of a character yet. Then we have Lenny. Lenny could honestly be who are you tier. Lenny really hasn't done much of anything. Yeah, Lenny just has done less than these. I'll put her in D tier for now. Then Piper says, the lower Shura were his allied clan, though, or that's what I assume. Not Elwyn. And he treated Elwyn pretty alright. Or at least I don't know. I don't know if Elwyn was, but the Gandharva clan was allied with him. And the halves that he rescued in... I believe the halves he rescued in Season 1 were Garuda halves, so they would have been from the same clan as him. Okay, who else do we have that really didn't do too much? We have Manasveen, and who was that? Oh, was that Marika in front of Manasveen? And then Lenny's typically a setup character. She'll become more important, but for now it's only slight setup. Yeah, Lenny really hasn't done anything yet. Then, who was it? Was it Marika, I think? Let me double check with the character list here. We have Makara. Okay, I was thinking Menaka. Okay, so then, hold on. Oh my god, so many things going on. Makara. I don't remember Makara as much. I I should have reread that flashback before doing this. I would have had a lot more to say. I don't remember Makata that much. Like, I remember the conflict between what the Guntarva clan should do and the peace that Guntarva himself was trying to have. And the conflict between, was it leaving or staying? I remember some of the conflict, but I don't remember which side some of the characters were on and what they all did as well. And then Makata is the second in command of the Guntarva. We've seen him in the flashbacks. Yeah, I just don't remember that well. And then I'm only talking about lower shuras, not have. Sorry for misunderstanding. No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, Makata, I just don't. I feel bad because I don't remember enough. I wish I would have reread that flashback. I think C tier though, because I do remember some of the others from the flashback more favorably. Makata, I'd put here, I think. And then Manasveen, I like Manasveen from the flashbacks again. Going through season 1 again, watching Pyro streams has, refreshed me even more. I like Manasveen. I don't think we've had enough yet for me to like Manasveen that much, but I like Manasveen. I'd maybe go here. Yeah, here in B tier. I just don't think I've seen quite enough yet. And then, remember Marina's words when the Anantas entered. He was like, are you wondering why you don't see more Anantas here because I ate them all? Yes, I do remember that. But then, also, the Anantas are jerks, birds eat snakes, but I get your point. But even then, when it comes to his own clan, when it comes to his own family, he seems to at least treat his own family and his allies better than some of the others treat even their own clans and allies. Then, let's see, who else do I have? We've got... I'll do Shakuntala because she's really only been around in flashbacks. I really like her pacifist nature. I hope that somehow or another she's still alive so that Guntarva can be at least somewhat happy. And also because I think her being alive adds another layer of depth to the story where we can see what she's like now, but also like what the conflict with Guntarva was earlier in the season, where a part of the conflict was, okay, if you see your daughter again, but if you do horrible things to get there, what is she going to think of you? Is she going to even be happy to see you again if you have to do it in such a terrible way? So I think that her being alive just adds more to Guntarva's character arc and his character conflict. And again, I just generally like the whole pacifist thing she has going. I think I'd maybe put her here, though, above Clary, but still below Hanuman and Manasveen, because even though we've barely seen Hanuman, I really like her, and I like everything we've seen from all the various flashbacks that Manasveen's been in. Then, half the reason why Chapter 100 was a good stopping point for the character tier list was because Tilda and Saha get introduced. Then... Okay, sorry, just looking through chat. Let's see, who else do we have here? We have some others that I like but haven't done anything yet. Who was, that was Urvasi, right? Was their name? Let me double check, make sure I'm getting it right. I remember really liking Urvasi. That's the thing that I was, with, what was it, Makata before. I remember Makata, but just vaguely, but I remember really liking Urvasi, or Urvashi, either way, however you would pronounce it, because of it being Korean, but then also based on, mythology from India. I actually think I'd go, okay, A tier might be high. That might be a bit high for a character who hasn't done anything yet, so I'll stick him in B still. We have Zard. Zard was kind of a jerk at points, I feel like. Sure, he did some good things, but I don't know. I didn't like his personality very much. I will go top of D tier. I didn't like Zard's personality very much. Let's see. Let me check chat to see if anything said anything about those. I think it's with an S, not sh. Okay. Then, let's see who else we have. I guess Tilda hasn't done anything, but Tilda's one of my favorite designs, so we're just going into A tier because that is one of my favorite designs so far in the series. It's so good, and I can't wait to see more. I guess I could go ahead and rank Saha as well, because Saha is another character that we saw extremely little from, but is also already A tier, maybe even S tier. I'm just going to stick with A for now. I think seeing so little of the character, I shouldn't go in S, but we already know so much about Saha's character because of all the hints and build-up that was like leading up to Saha's introduction. We got stuff about them mentioning Lorraine's fiance, which again, maybe Lorraine's fiance isn't Saha, but they both are like high ranking and mention having fiancés, and I think Saha said that his fiance was also like, what, AA rank or whatever, which Lorraine's one of the only 4, so I would assume that it has to be that. So we had hints there, we had hints back when they were talking about the AA ranks, hints talking about the city and the priests and everything. And then plus, with what little we had, there was really good stuff with the sort of Asha murder mystery, which is some of the best stuff, I think, in the season. So all of that was good. And then Pate says Zard isn't my favorite either. Corey says, I don't think Zard was a jerk, but he didn't do much either. Rooster says, I also don't remember Zard being a jerk. I thought that when we were going through the conflict of whether or not to let Yuta stay in the city, and whether or not it was cool for Asha to be using, or like the whole Asha murder mystery stuff, I thought Zard was kind of harsh to Yuta and Asha's stuff. At least that's what I remember, but maybe I'm remembering incorrectly. And then from there, let's see, Shess didn't do very much. Shuri is kind of still just a flashback character. Love Shuri's design. I want to see more, but yeah, still just a flashback character. I would go here, I think. I would like to see more Shuri than I'd like to see more Monosphene, but what we've seen of Monosphene so far, I think, is better than what we've seen of Shuri so far. B tier is kind of turning into the not very important and flashback characters, but I like them tier. Then also Shess really didn't do much, but I also like Shess. I don't know if Shess should go in B tier though. I'll go like maybe here, top of C tier for Shess. I don't know, I just don't feel like Shess did very much this season so far. But I do like Shess. And then Tipo says, I slightly remember Zard telling Teo she's effed up, which is sort of unfair, but that's minor. And then Just a Bookworm said that's Lutz. I mean, I remember Lutz's take on everything, but, or like, Lutz wasn't against Asha and why am I Yuta? And then Zard didn't show up much. He only said Lee's reminded him of someone, and later stopped a Gintarva half from going berserk. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't... there was something he said or did that I remember not really liking very much. Then, who else do we have? Sierra didn't do too much, but I really like Sierra. Sierra's going in A tier as well. I wish Sierra got to do a bit more, honestly. Yeah, I'll go bottom of A tier. I don't know. Maybe like this. I think I like Sierra more than Irie, and then I'm stuck with... sorry. And then I'm stuck with where to put Tilda, because I feel like I would put Tilda below Irie, but above Sierra? Nah, I could go above Irie. I think Tilda's fine there, I guess. Sorry, let me check chat. Hopefully the coughing wasn't too loud. I tried to turn away as much as physically possible. Let's see who else we have. Trying to do some of the more minor ones. Let's do Clope and Cloche. So Clope is a bit of a blandman. A little bit on the boring side, honestly. So I'm going to go C tier. Honestly, I would go like here. I think Clope's pretty boring. I'm not a big Clope guy, personally. And Cloche's the opposite. I love the design and everything. And Cloche has been kind of a jerk, but that's kind of part of the Anantis thing. And even among the jerks, I don't know, I kind of feel bad for her. It kind of feels like she's being dragged along in some way, even though she is causing a lot of destruction. Now, where would I put her, though? I think I would go A tier, but low A tier. Yeah, I think that's probably fine, below Irie, but still A tier. So the difference between Clope and Cloche, for me, is so different. Just double checking chat. Now, who else do we have? We have Agwen didn't do too much. I like Agwen. I want more. We had some of the conversations with like Brilith and Agni, but that's kind of about it. Yeah, she really didn't do as much as in season 1, and even in season 1 she didn't do a ton. Maybe top of B tier? I don't know. Maybe bottom of A. I'll go bottom of A. It feels like the gap between her and Cloche is a little bit large, but I still really, really personally like Agwen and want to see more from Agwen. Let me get some more water. I feel like I'm gonna cough again. I'm trying to hold it in. Okay, sorry about that. We have Kalavinka, who again has only existed in flashbacks, and even then, not very many flashbacks. But I love the design. And since we've already had so much Marna, and Marna's been such a well-written character, and so much Yuta, and Yuta's been such a well-written character, I really want to see Kalavinka also get the same sort of treatment. So with that in mind, she really hasn't done anything yet, but I love the design. Much like I said about Tilda and Saha, one of the best designs so far. I would go maybe above Shuri, below Manasvin, and below Urvasi, because I'd really like to see more Urvasi. I really liked Urvasi in that flashback. Even though, again, me being a bit of a hypocrite, because Urvasi really didn't do much either, but I just remember really, really, really liking them. Piper saying I always get their names mixed up. For me, with Clope and Cloche, the way I started remembering it is Cloche, or, I mean, it wouldn't be pronounced Cloche in French, but in French it's Belle, and she wears all yellow, so I'm like, yellow, Belle, that's how I always remembered that one's Cloche. And then Pate saying Kalavinka's design's so good. I love it. I love the color scheme and everything. So now we're getting into some of the ones that we're going to have a lot more to talk about. Lila didn't do too much, but I love that she's a really important character, a really high-ranked character, and has this cool design, but is also like fun and goofy. The interactions we saw in the flashbacks were so good. The goofy mask just adds a lot to the character. She's willing to just kind of goof off and be a fun character, and I really love that. So at least A tier for me. But I don't know. When it comes to who I want to see more of, I think I might want to see more of Saha than Lila, but it's tough. Like, it's tough between that. And then Tilda I also want to see a lot more from, but I don't know. Sierra I like more from what we've already seen, though. So maybe I should go Tilda below Sierra. And then I'd put Tilda above Lila still. Yeah, I think maybe this is a good order. I'll go back through once I get everybody on the list and, like, kind of reorder the top tiers and everything, but I think that looks good for right now. Then who else do we have? We have a bunch of important characters. I'm trying to see if there's any that weren't as important. That's Menaka. We've only seen Menaka in flashbacks, and even then not as much as some of the others in flashbacks. But I liked her from what little we saw in the flashbacks. I just don't think we've seen enough for me to go higher than C tier. And I remember more from Makata. So I would put her above Clope and Kali. Candle Girl, though. Who to choose between, Candle Girl or Menaka? Honestly, I'm going to put Candle Girl higher. Okay. That's where I am right now. And then all the double A's are very interesting. Lorraine's a goober. I love Lorraine. And then Manaka turned Gandharva into a pacifist. True. I think I'm good with the setup. Then anybody else who didn't do much. I guess Tarka didn't do too much this season. She was kind of only really there for stopping God, I'm losing names. Cossack that time. I would still say just from season 1, though, the character to me is an S tier character. Tarka was one of my absolute favorites. So I'm going to go S tier. That's our first S tier for now. I really, really loved Tarka, even though she didn't do too much this season. And then Vishnu as well. Vishnu is a character we've only seen in flashbacks, but I absolutely love and want to see more from. God, I love him just from the flashbacks. I think I would go A tier. But I would feel bad putting Vishnu in A tier above the characters that I know more about. So I'll go bottom of A tier for right now. Just because I haven't seen enough yet. And then I think that's about it, for except for like more main-ish characters and also Par. Oh, also Pingada and Ryagara. I can do those. And also Rana. Rana didn't do much of anything, but I like Rana. Let's see. Do I like Rana more than some of these characters? Yes. Enough to be A tier. Probably not. I think I'd go above Monosphene, below Urvasi. Is where I'm going with Rana right now. She didn't really do too much this season, though. And I don't know how that compares to where I ranked her last season, so I don't know if she's moved up despite not doing anything. But I think that's fair for me. This is just how I'm feeling in the moment. And then... yeah, we have just a bookworm saying Yuta grieved over Taraka after she stopped Cossack. That's pretty much it. Pate says Vishnu S tier. I wouldn't go S tier yet just because I don't know enough. I think potential S tier because I really love what little I do have, like, knowledge-wise of Vishnu, but I just don't have enough knowledge-wise. Then let's do Pingada and Ryagara. Pingada, little bit of a Team Rockety kind of guy. always getting clowned on a little bit, I feel like. Yeah, Pingada is kind of a little bit of a loser. I would go C tier, below Elwyn, above Makara, I think. Yeah, not much going on there. Honestly, I feel bad putting Shess solo. Shess definitely needs to be in C tier. Or B tier, I mean. I definitely went too low with Shess. Let's see, who else do we have? We have Prawl. Prawl, I really like Prawl, hold on. Prawl hasn't done much of anything, but I just really like him. I want to go A tier. I really like Prawl. I'll go bottom of A tier to be fair, but I just really like him. Okay, now we have one line of characters, but they're basically main characters. And then Piper says, I'd love to compare your list. I'll try to find the first one and maybe compare it. Or either that, or at the beginning of next read through in the intro, I can compare the two. Either way. But that way I don't have to search for it here on stream, but we'll see when we get through these characters. I guess I should do Ryagara and Paul. Or, not Paul, freaking Par. And Rao as well. Rao really didn't do much, but I really like him. Ryagara. I like Ryagara. I don't know, I feel like I was feeling more for Ryagara in Season 1 than I'm feeling now. I don't know. Let me... A tier, probably... I don't know. She's kind of a jerk, but that's, again, she's a bad guy. It's a part of it. I'm actually going below Urvasi. I'm going B tier, I think, for Ryagara. Then we've got Rao. I think Rao is great. We know little about him, but I think he's great. Let's see, where would I... But I think Rao has potential to be one of my favorite characters. Potential, but again, I just don't know enough yet. I would go... I'm stuck with these bottom three. What order would I go in? I guess I like Vishnu more still, and I'd put Rao above Prawl. And then Par is... do I do S tier just because I really, really like her? I guess. I don't know. I would love to see more Par compared to these other characters. I don't know, but then I would also, I think, have to put Tilda up here if I'm going by that logic. You know, I'll stick with S tier. I generally like her as a character. I'm glad she survived when the search party was taken out. I like that she's been really friendly and kind to like Lisa's group, Teo and everything. I just generally like Teo and her friends and family. Like even though Elwyn's barely done anything, I still like Elwyn a bit. Yeah, I'll go S tier. If anything, the design helps too. So, shouldn't have been a huge surprise to you all, but I'll go S tier. Power S plus 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 plus, says Bate. And then Ryagara turned into too much of a Sagara simp. She was always that, but I felt like, man, Ryagara's biggest character stuff for me, both in Season 1 and here, is the relationship with Marina. The relationship with Marina in Season 1 was, I think, Ryagara's most defining character stuff, and again in Season 2 with when they were, when she went to infiltrate and stuff. I think, again, it's the same. That's like the highlight of the character. But I don't know. I just feel like my like for the character has gone down in Season 2 compared to Season 1 when it comes to Ryagara. Then we have Rouge and Riche. I love Rouge and Riche. So Rouge Zehran is S tier for me. I would go maybe top of S tier. I'm even considering S plus tier. And Riche is also S tier, I think, for me. I love Riche. But I will... I don't know. The stuff with the murder mystery and learning a bit about their backstory was so good. I'll go above par, below Taraka is where I'm going with them. Then that's where I'm feeling with these four. So who is next? We have Claude. Claude didn't do too much. Well, Claude did a lot and also didn't do too much. He talked a lot to like Yuta and some of the other characters. He was around. He just was kind of like dipping in and out and being purposefully mysterious. It's one of those things where it's like the others weren't around that much and that makes them mysterious. Claude was around. He was actually around a lot, but he's like purposefully mysterious. He just makes himself like that. I don't know what I think about Claude yet. I don't know what I think about Claude yet just because he is like purposefully mysterious. There's so much I don't know and don't know how to feel. I would go here, I think. I'm going to put Claude in B tier. Might be a hot take, but I just don't know enough yet. And I don't know how to feel yet. Because there's some things where I'm like, I don't know that I like that he did that, but he might have a reason. And then sometimes he was really, really funny, and I really, really like that he was really funny. I just don't know how to feel about him yet. I'm still confused. Like, he didn't do too much, but he was around all the time. And, like, he might have done a lot. It was just kind of in the background. Like, he facilitated the older Lee's section of the story. He did a lot of stuff when it comes to the temple and that part of the story. He was there for a lot of the discussion about the murder mystery stuff. He had some important stuff there at the end, warning about Yuta. Like... he did a lot, but he also like did it in such weird sporadic appearances that it's hard to judge. I'm like, I can't tell if I like him or don't like him. I can't tell if he's good or bad, and it's kind of on purpose. We're like supposed to question a lot of his intent and methods. So I really like him, but I also don't know how to feel yet. So B tier is probably too low. I don't know. I'm so conflicted. I would go maybe here. I'll still go below Agwan, but above Vishnu. Because he is just very, very entertaining, and I really like that. I think that's one of the most important things. Claude also told Lise about the bracelet transcendentals, right? He did so much. Humor alone makes him S+, says Thibaut. Yeah, that's why I'm going A. Just because I think that the entertainment value is so good. Like, but I don't know how to feel. Because I don't know if the things he's doing are going to be really good for the story and the characters or really bad yet. Then who else do I have to choose from? Let me double check, make sure the stream actually looks good. Okay. Making sure you could see everything all right. Let's see. We have a lot of important characters. Huda, I guess people are probably saying, why is Huda still here? Important characters. Huda's S tier for me. I love Huda. Actually, oh man, Huda might be S+. I may be trying to be a little bit discerning with where I put these characters. I'll go below Roosh for now. I really like Roosh. But Huda's S tier for sure. I love Huda. And then, hold on. I should probably check the chat between characters from here on since we're talking about important characters. Then Pate says, I was always on the fence between loving and despising Claude. I just don't know. But yeah, I love Huda. Huda's S tier easy for me. Lorraine is also easy S tier for me. I absolutely love Lorraine. She didn't really get to do much in Season 2 yet. But I love her. Where would I put Lorraine, though? I'd go maybe here? Maybe there for now, and I'll think about it a little bit more at the end. Okay, who else do we have? Let me get rid of some of the others. God Kubera. God Kubera, I guess, is another like Claude, where I don't know how to feel, really, about some of his decisions and actions and all that. Like, he's doing a lot of things that I think are really bad, but I also think he has his reasons. Huh. At least A tier for me. At least A tier. But where? I would go maybe above Lila. Yeah, maybe God Kubera's around here for me. It's weird seeing like Sierra and stuff so high because I feel like, you know, Tilda and Saha were just introduced. Sierra really didn't do as much, but I just really like them. I really like them. Let's see. Cossack was my favorite in Season 1. He's had plenty to do in Season 2, but I don't know if he retains his place at the top. I still love Cossack, though. I think Cossack is our first S+ tier. I still love Cossack. He was my favorite last time. I don't know if he's still my favorite this time. I actually don't think he is, but he's up there. Marina's a stupid bird. B for bird brain tier. I don't know. Marina's a really good character, but also kind of a jerk. I don't know. I'm putting Marina here, I think. Might be a hot take, but Marina's B here for me. I don't know. The design. Here's the thing. If we're talking character, like just personality and stuff, he might even drop to C tier. But if we're talking just design, he might be going to like S tier. The design is like so good. But personality is so frustrating. And it's supposed to be frustrating, but it's frustrating. Like, his interactions with Gandharva are frustrating, his interactions with Yuta are frustrating, and that's driving conflict in the story. That's part of what makes the story good. But it also doesn't make me like Marina's personality, even though it makes the story good. Then just a bookworm saying Kubera is such a huge question mark. Piper saying they're both meant to be mysteries, presumably about Kubera and Claude. Piper saying, I like God Kubera because he's so mysterious and intriguing. And then Rooster, actually God Kubera is the funniest character in season. True, the waterway stuff is very funny. The interactions with Lise when they first meet are funny. B for Bird Brain, that's where I'm going. Yeah, Marina, again, I think is well written. I think the frustrating parts of Marina's character are meant to be there to drive the conflict forward, but they are still frustrating. And I think it makes it more frustrating just because I really love Gandharva and I love Yuta. So now we're with these characters. Lutz is already S tier for me. I love Lutz. He's one of my favorite characters already. I would think even... Would I put him over Roosh? I'm not sure if I'd put him over Roosh yet, but Lutz is already up here. I freaking love Lutz. Sagara. Ooh, Sagara is going to be a rough one, actually. How do I feel about Sagara? Again, like, the frustrating parts of her character are there to drive the plot forward. She wouldn't be a very good villain if I absolutely loved her, now would she? But yeah, she screwed up a lot of things I love for a lot of characters I love. So C tier. Again, C tier, but that means she's a good villain because I don't love her that much. I'll put her here. Well, C tier might be too low because Pingada's here. And then it's like, okay, do I really want to compare her with Pingada? Okay, so maybe B tier. But definitely below Chess. So that's how I'm feeling about Sagara. And then who said main characters can't be antagonists? Marn is definitely acting like a villain in the story. B tier for Marn is definitely a hot take, even if he wasn't involved in the first half of season 2. And then just a bookworm says, I meant villain, like making his decisions, hurting people, forcing decisions onto others. Yeah, I think Marna and Sagara wouldn't be doing their jobs as well if I absolutely loved them. Because they both have their reasons. I think especially Sagara, to me, I really get why she's doing what she's doing, why she acts the way she acts, why she treats people the way she treats people. I feel like I've seen enough to like get where Sagara's coming from, and it's like, oh yeah, I can see where you're coming from. But then it's like, no, you screwed this up for this character, or you screwed this up for that character, and that is annoying. So to me, I think that Sagara does a great job as an antagonist. Same with Marana, though I don't think Marana is as much of an antagonist. But I do think he is a troublemaker, a conflict starter. I think they do a great job at carrying conflicts, and that makes them good characters. But when it comes to like where I like them, how I would, because I'm ranking the characters by how much I like them, I think them being good characters and them like being likable to me isn't the same. I say the same thing when I do rankings in Tower of God with Calavan and Rachel. I think that Calavan and Rachel are some of the best characters, but that doesn't necessarily make them likable characters. Hold on, just double checking something really quick. Yeah, so I think that they're great characters, but that doesn't make them likable characters. And then Piper, there's a difference between liking a character as a person and seeing them as a good developed character. True. And then the story develops the reasons really well, says Just a Bookworm. I think it's dependent on how you feel about Gandharva. True, says Thibault. In my opinion, is a real piece of shit for the beginning of season 2, so I like Sagara. True. I get what you mean. And then Piper says, I like her as a character, but if I was judging her on if I actually liked her personality, I'd hate her. Yeah, Steven's saying, seeing Sagara so low makes me happy. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling. I think they're great antagonists, just like I think about Calavan and Rachel in Tower of God, but that doesn't make them likable to me. And then we've got some really important characters left. Okay, what order do I want to talk about them in? I'll talk about Teo. Teo was an easy S tier for me as well. I would put Teo here, maybe. I absolutely adore every single part of Teo's character. It's a little bit harder for me to think on, because I think most of Teo's good character stuff was a few months ago for me. She's kind of been, for obvious reasons, out of the picture for a little bit. But I do love her character. I think, honestly, if it wasn't for the recency bias, she might have been higher. Like, if I had read some of the earlier stuff in Season 2 more recently, she would have been even higher. But then we get introduced to more characters like Lutz, and it's like, holy crap, Lutz is so good. But I love Teo. So, that's where I'm thinking Teo. Then, just glancing through. Alright. So, who's next? Agni, I loved in Season 1, I still love. I think Agni, I loved him in Season 1, like, not going any lower than S tier. That's why I'm sitting him here for now. Agni, I think, is even better in Season 2 than Season 1. Just because Season 1, we established him, and he was great. In Season 2, we take him, already having been established, and we do so many cool things with his relationships and interactions. And it feels like we've only barely scratched the surface, because we haven't really got to see that much of him. But what we have seen has just been so good. The conversations we've had earlier on, the stuff with Gandharva later on. I almost want to go S+. Like, I think I like Gandharva, or I think I like Agni more after Season 2 than I did after Season 1. Ah, man, it's tough, though, because I love these other characters so much. If I were to choose who is my favorite character between Huda and Agni, I would probably still say Huda, but I might put Agni above Teo. So I think I'm going to put him here for right now. Is how I'm feeling. And then Piper, he feels like the only good god so far. True. Thibaut saying Agni and Kubera such a good duo. Pate saying the fact he revealed himself as a god changes everything. True, that does change more about his character too. And then Rooster saying, I didn't realize you like Cossack this much. Cossack was my favorite in Season 1. I don't think he's my favorite anymore, but I think he's still S+. I think I still love him as much as Season 1. He has gotten more developed, but I just think I like other characters even more now than that. Then just glancing through. Then scene with Agni and Lise was so good. Okay, so we have 6 left. We have our sort of main quartet plus Gantarva Brilith. Brilith, where do I put Brilith? Brilith, to me, I think hasn't done as much character-wise in Season 2 because we haven't got to see her as much. We got to see her in the earlier parts I was mentioning with Agni, but then when it comes to the later parts, we got to see a lot more of Agni and not really much more of her. I think she's in a lot of similar places character-wise as she was in Season 1. I think she's still probably S tier, but I would say that I like Par more, so I guess bottom of S tier is where I'd put Brilith for now. Then just checking chat before I continue. And then Gantarva's the only one left outside of our main quartet. Gantarva, I think, also is S tier. I absolutely loved him in Season 1, and I think he's even more well-developed in Season 2. I love the conflict that goes on with he and Teo, and how that conflict evolves as the season progresses. I love the scenes at the end, the fact that in his own way he was able to save Teo, the fact that he went off on his own, that horrible, heartbreaking scene where he's that close to kind of being saved in a way, and then he gets saved. Then Marina saves him by killing everyone, which completely ruins the character arc he was going through and is a huge setback and blow for him. So that was really good. There's also a chance now for him to meet Teo again in the future. I think he is honestly one of the most developed characters when it comes to how much we have gotten into a character and what they think and what they feel and what they're going through. We have probably seen more into what Gantarva thinks and feels than nearly any other character. However, much like I was saying about like Sagara and Marina, that doesn't necessarily fully correlate to how much I like him. Which is, okay, weird. Because I would say, if you were to ask me who do I like more as a character between Gantarva and Teo, I would say I like Teo more as a character. But if you were to ask me Gantarva or Agni, I would say I like Gantarva more as a character. So maybe I should switch around this ranking. And then, if I were to compare them to Taraka, I think I like Taraka more. Do I like Taraka more than Agni? I think I do. I think I'd maybe go like this, actually. I think I'd go like this. And then Stefan saying, by this point in the story, Gantarva was my favorite character. Piper, I changed my opinion so much. Sometimes I like him, sometimes I don't. Farron saying, poor Agni. Yeah, the tough thing, like Piper said, is do you like him? The question is, he's such a good character. But, and then Piper says, for me, I'd put her lower than Agni. And then Tabal says, Brilith is the weak link of the main characters in Season 2 for him. Geez. Yeah, Gantarva's so good. It's tough. I'm going to, once I get all the characters up here, I'm going to run through the rankings again and kind of like switch them up to see like, okay, do I like this character more than this character? But for right now, I'll put them there. It's just he's so good, but I feel like when it comes to these characters, he's probably the most developed, Gantarva that is, and Agni is up there too. But there are characters that, even though they're more developed, I like Huda or Roosh or Lutz more. I think. Well, let's go to our quartet here. Who do I go first? I guess I'll go Yuta. Yuta, I was so scared that I wouldn't like after his transformation and his personality changed. He was kind of going a really like edgy Twilight love interest on us. And I love that that became part of the conflict of him wanting to be seen as the same, him wanting to be the same, but he isn't the same. He's having to deal with these feelings and work his way through them. I think that's been really, really good. But that said, despite that being a good part of the story, when it comes to how much I like him, I do feel like I like Yuta drastically less after his development. I like him drastically less. So before he was one of my favorites, now I struggle to say yes tier. I think for me personally, I would probably go here. Above Lila, but below God Kubera. Is where, like, that might be a hot take. I know Yuta's like the most popular character. But for me, before Yuta transformed, he probably would have gone in S+. But then after his development, to me, it's been lowered to A tier. I don't like him drastically less, but I do like him less. And then Rooster Lee's, that's not a scarf. Thibaut saying Gintarv is the one who gets the payoff to all the setup, or the first one who gets the payoff to all the setup. And then Kubera is a pretty emo story. Yeah. So to me, it sucks to put him that low because I loved Yuta before his development so much. It's just that after his development, I don't like him drastically less, but I do definitely like him less. I still love him, but there's a lot of competition. So even liking him a little bit less is going to be like a big drop just because the competition is so tough. Okay, then we have 3 more. And I was honestly going to save Ron until last because why I was saying Cossack isn't my favorite anymore, I think Ron's my new favorite character. Ron is so good. Not only is he a fun character, but his development has been incredible. And so much of the first part of Season 2, pretty much all of the first part of Season 2 has been, I would say like at least 80%, has been main quartet hangs out in Calibloom and interacts with each other and other characters. That has been the vast majority of the story, is just these 4 characters interacting with each other. And when it comes to these 4 characters interacting with each other, Yuta's been incredible, Lee's has been incredible, Asha's been incredible, but to me, Ron has been the best out of the 4. I love his interactions with the other characters. I love how much of him we've seen. His treatment of all of these other characters has been amazing. Even the stuff when we're getting like right towards the end of what I've read so far. Yeah, exactly. Piper just said him standing up for Lee's. The stuff that we just got with him standing up for Lee's, the way he talks to Yuta, his reactions to the way Lutz and the others were going to use Yuta, and the way he feels about that is so good. Him being like so kind, really, is so good. Pate saying I could watch these 4 interact all day, every day. That's like the story to me. We had the invasion and the action and stuff, but to me, the main meat of the story has just been these characters interacting, and I think Ron has been my favorite of them. I don't know if I'd say we've had the most of him compared to like Lee's or Yuta, but I think that his has been the one that development that I've liked the most. And just a bookworm saying I love Ron in the first half of Season 2 too. Thibaut saying Ron is pretty great, yeah. So yeah, I love them. Farron saying he deserves his own S++++. So yeah, he's my new favorite, I think, above Cossack. And then we have Lee's. Lee's also to me goes in S+ tier. Lee's is incredible. I think Season 1 she was incredible. Season 2, like I just said, it's been these 4 characters interacting for pretty much just all of what we've seen. And I think Lee's has been one of the best. Not just her interactions with the others, just like with Ron, but her interactions with characters outside of that group of 4 has been incredibly, incredibly, incredibly good. Her interactions with like God Kubera, I think we've seen maybe a little bit more with Agni. We've seen a bit more with Agni, but a little more with Guntarva maybe. Her interactions with Par were good. So yeah, she's just been absolutely incredible. And I love how deep her character is. The sort of way that she's been treating herself. Farron saying, in the last part of the story, he's saying what I wanted to say in those situations. I feel that too with Ron. I feel like Ron is the one I kind of identify most with in a lot of these situations too. And then Rooster said, fun fact, the panel of Ron spilling his coffee on him when he sees, the panel of Ron spilling coffee on him when he sees Grown Up Lee's is Kurigum's favorite panel. So, yeah, I would put Lee's up here in S+2. I think that she is up there with the other members of the main quartet. And I think that whereas my love for Yuta dropped a bit, my love for Lee's has only grown more and more and more and more. I love the way that she keeps blaming herself for everything that goes wrong, and then her interactions with Ron are really good because he's trying to tell her not to blame herself. But she's like, if I blame myself, then I can change things, I can try to fix things, but if it's somebody else's fault, there's nothing I can do about that. Like, her character's so deep, it's so good. Pate saying Ron might be the most empathetic and human character in the series so far. I think especially after the last stuff that I've read, I think that's absolutely true. Just a bookworm saying, then in season 2 I was like, oh, I see why she's like that, talking about Lee's in season 1, disliking her because of her being reckless and stupid, but then seeing why she's like that, it's so good. It's so good. So yeah, then our last one is Asha, and Asha again is a situation kind of like Sagara, where Sagara acts like a jerk, but I can absolutely see why. Asha's a character that acts like a jerk, but also does a lot of good, and not only can I see why, I guess I can't fully see why because she's still so mysterious to me, but I feel like I trust her. Like, every time Asha's doing something that's like kind of a jerk move, I either attribute it to her being bad at socializing, which we've seen that she is, or I think, okay, she has a plan, she has a reason, and we just have to trust whatever that reason is. So I guess I'm kind of pulling a Lee's when it comes to Asha. I think Asha would go in S tier, I'm just not sure where yet. I do think I like Guntarva more than Asha. How do I feel? I think I put Lorraine above Asha in season 1, but I think I'd put Asha above Lorraine here in season 2, just because Lorraine hasn't done as much. Asha above Rish. I would go above Agni. I don't know about Taraka. So let me run through, let me check chat real quick, and then I'll run through and kind of order them a bit. Piper says, I feel like Ron often gets overlooked by characters in the story and by other readers around this time in the story as well. He is, so I'm happy you're not overlooking his character. He is a candidate for AA, right? So really, if he passes that, he could be like one of the highest ranked characters in the entire series. And he's just a kind, good person. Okay, so I'm going to go back through and rank them from bottom to top just to see where we are. Am I cool saying this guy is F tier? I think I am. I'm cool saying that Lenny's D tier. She just hasn't done anything. Do I like Lenny more than the assistant? Nah, I like the assistant more. I like the assistant more than Zard. Who do I like more between Zard and Lenny? I think I like Lenny more than Zard. And then there's this guy. Should I move this guy up to C tier or keep him in D? I'm going to just keep him in D tier, I think. Then Kali here. Do I like Kali or Clope more? That's actually tough. I like Kali more even though she hasn't done anything. I'm sorry, Clope. Then Kali or Menaka? I like Menaka more for sure. Menaka above the Candle Girl. Candle Girl or Kali? What am I thinking? I'll go Candle Girl. Menaka or Makeda? I'll go Menaka. Makeda above Candle Girl. That works. Who do I like? Okay, I like Menaka more than Pingata. Marika also more than Pingata. Pingata, I'm sorry, he's just kind of a loser. Candle Girl more than Pingata. I'll put Pingata above Kali though, and above Clope. So where was I? I was at Elwyn, or I kind of don't know if I should move Elwyn up to B. Yeah, I'll leave Menaka in C, and I'll move Elwyn up to B. Let's see, has anybody else had anything new to say? That guy is F tier. Honestly, hate her for her treatment of Lise. I don't think her backstory is an excuse. I'd put Asha in F for her treatment of Lise. That is true. But again, there's a part of me that just wants to trust her and be like, okay, she has a reason. Asha's affected Lisa's self-esteem so much I'd slam her down to F tier while yelling stay away from Lise. It is interesting to see people's reactions to Asha like that, since Asha is one of the most important characters. Yeah, I'm torn on how I feel. but I kind of just want to trust her, you know? This Callie ranking's kind of illegal. I don't know anything about Callie. Let me get some water. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna cough again. So, yeah, I don't know anything about Callie yet. There's a part of you that will just accept the relentless abuse Asha puts on Lise. I think it's because I trust that Asha has a reason, and I think that I think that a lot of her treatment of Lise is something that we just need the two of them to communicate. It is frustrating because there have been so many scenes when I've been reacting and stuff where I'm like, just talk, just communicate, just use your words, especially to Asha. Asha's really bad at just communicating, which is why I think maybe she has a reason. Because I want to see why she won't just communicate. And I think Lise also doesn't do a great job at really communicating her feelings because she blames herself too much a lot of the time. Where I think if the two of them would just be honest about what they feel for each other, then it would kind of smooth over a lot of things. But Asha is just, I don't know if it's too prideful, we don't know the reasons yet, but Asha just won't, Asha just will not communicate. Just a bookworm, yeah, Asha's lack of socialization's getting in her way. And Pate, I just trust Asha has a reason validating abuse like that. It is kind of, but I don't know. I'm just going to trust her for now and see where it goes. Then Just a Bookworm says, I think at this point I didn't like Asha's treatment either, but I could tell Asha had more going on. And then Just a Bookworm, it's true Lise's bad habit and Asha's bad habit are a bad match for each other. And then Pate, Asha and Lise are textbook definitions of how abuse can appear in relationships. Yeah, I just feel like if the two of them communicated, so many of the problems we had could have just been solved. And I feel like Ron was... This is why I like Ron too. I feel like at so many points, Ron was kind of trying to tell them to do that. So many times he was like, Asha, just tell Lise that you think this. Like, Asha will tell things to Ron and he'll be like, just say that to Lise, just communicate. And the same thing with Lise, don't blame yourself, go just talk to Asha, just talk to each other. But now we're in B tier, and we have Elwyn or Sagara. Who do I like more? I'll go Sagara. I like Shess more than Sagara. I do like Shess more than Clary. I like Clary more than Sagara, though, when it comes to how much I like them as characters. Sagara's more developed, of course, but I like Clary more. Shess or Shakuntala. I like Shakuntala more. Shakuntala or Hanuman. I like Shakuntala more. Hanuman or Shess. I just don't know enough about Hanuman yet. I would still go above Clary, but Shess above Hanuman, then Shuri. I would put Shuri above Shakuntala. Kalavinka above Shuri, but just kind of barely. Manasveen above Kalavinka. Ooh, Manasveen or Rana. I agree with my Rana placement. I'm going Rana above Ryagata. Ryagata barely above Manasveen. Barely. Rana or Marina? I'll go Marina higher still. Marina or... I think I'm underrating Marina a little. I'll go above Urvasi. Urvasi still above Rana. And then we have the random worker at the Earth Temple. She can be the gatekeeper. She's the Earth Temple gatekeeper, keeping people out of A tier. She can stay top of B. That'll be our gatekeeper here. And then, now that I've gone through B tier, let me check back with chat. And then Piper says, I don't care about the backstory since she treats Lise like shit. Her backstory's no excuse. My honest opinion on her around this time of the story is me hating on Asha. I think that's perfectly valid because she has been like an absolute jerk to Lise. She has been really, really, really horrible. That said, though, a lot of other characters have been horrible, but I still like them as characters. Pate saying random worker's really the gatekeeper from the beginning. And then, okay. Just glancing through. Okay, let's see. We did B tier, so A tier. Do I like Prawl more than Rao? I like Rao more. Rao or Vishnu? This is tough. This is really tough, because I love both of their, like, barely little backstory stuff we've seen, but we really haven't seen much of anything. I guess we've seen slightly more of Vishnu, and I'll keep them here. But yeah, Claude's definitely above them. I might be underrating Claude. Claude or Agwin? Who do I just like Agwin. I like Agwen a lot. Agwen or Cloche? I think I'd put Agwen and Claude above Cloche. I'll keep Cloche above Vishnu, though. Then Airi. I like Claude more than Airi. Airi or Cloche? I kind of like Cloche more than Airi. Airi I'll keep above Vishnu, though. Claude or Cloche? Yeah, I guess this is fine. No, you know what? Siblings can go beside each other. I like Cloche more than Claude, I think. As much as Claude's entertaining. Then Agwen or Lila. I just really like Agwen, but I think I like Lila more. Lila or Yuta? I like Lila more. Man, Yuta's dropping. That's sad. I think I still like Yuta more than Agwen, but it's a little close. God Kubera I like more. I really like God Kubera. God Kubera or Tilda. God Kubera should go higher, but I'll keep Tilda above Lila. I'm really excited to see more of Tilda. That's one of my favorite designs so far, and I can't wait to see more. Then Sierra. Oh, that one's tough. The god versus his priest. Kubera or Sierra? Oh, this is tough for me. Even though we've seen so much more of God Kubera, I just really like Sierra. But do I like Sierra more? Yeah, I do. Just barely. And I think I like Sierra more than Saha, because we haven't seen enough of Saha yet. Saha, I'll keep above God Kubera, though. So yeah, that'll be my A tier, and I don't think I like Sierra enough to move up to S, so I think I'm locking in A tier there. Let me check chat. And then, let's see. And then Thibaut says, I feel like we need to wait until the end of Season 2 to have an Asha discussion. True. I kind of skipped over that one before. Vishnu and Rao is so interesting. Then Pate, Rao's really high up there considering we got a book and a portrait. I love this design, and I love the hints we have so far. I just really like what we have. I want more flashbacks. I want more backstory. I want more Rao. And then Piper says, it's cool that there are primeval gods with so much power in the story. It makes things intriguing. True, they're literally just gods of creation that exist here. Just a bookworm. Rao had more mentions in the story aside from the portrait and the biography too, so it kind of makes sense. Yeah, that makes me think we had the bonus chapter character that did like nothing was Brahma, right? I don't know. Brahma's design alone, if you wanted to know where I'd put Brahma, I probably would have put Brahma in A tier. Just design alone, being like the goofy, sleepy god with the bubblegum. Though she did just kind of look like a reskin of Lee's. She was just like Lisa's pink reskin. But let me run through S tier. So, okay, S tier, time to lock it in. We have Par versus Brilith. This is a Par W for me. Par versus Lorraine. Another Par W. Lorraine or Brilith? Ooh, that one's tough. Lorraine still. Brilith, Par or Riche? I like Riche so much, but I like Par more. Riche or Lorraine? That one's very tough. I think I'm going to go Lorraine, but it's pretty close. Par or Agni or Asha. I like Asha more. Asha or Taraka? I think I'm going to go Asha still. Taraka or Agni? That one's tough. That one's really tough. Because we just haven't seen much of Taraka this season, so it's like the recency bias is getting to me. That one's so tough. That one's so tough to decide. I think I'm fine with that order, though. I like Gintarva more than Asha. I like Teo more than Gintarva, but honestly, it's closer than I would have thought. Teo or Huda? I love Huda. I love Huda so much. But I think I still like Teo more. Huda I'll still put above Gintarva, but I like Teo a lot. Teo or Lutz? That's so tough. Because I love Lutz, but he's barely been around. I love him, he just hasn't been around. Except for like very recently. I'll go Teo. Lutz or Huda, though. Huda's just so entertaining. Lutz or Gintarva. Maybe I was overrating Lutz, it seems. We just haven't seen enough of him yet. I'll still keep him... No, he drops below Gintarva. Gintarva's just so good. I'll keep him above Asha, though, and above Taraka. Then, Roosh or Teo? I like Teo more than Roosh, even though I love Roosh. And then Roosh or Huda, who do I like more? Who do I like more? I guess I like Roosh more. It's so close though. These two are like pretty much a dead tie for 5th place. And then Teo, 4th place. And then we have our top 3. Okay. That's it. I think I'm good with that. And I'll use S plus as like a top 3 tier. And then, let's see, what else do we have? Let me see, where did I leave off with chat? Just a bookworm said if Brahma heard that, she'd be so mad. And then how dare he compare the creator with the creation? Just a bookworm saying divine punishment, skill name from book. Then Piper Charms. It's interesting how you like Par so much at this point in the story. I just saw Par as Teo's lackey and wouldn't care much about her. It's interesting how different our opinions are, though I agree. Loads with Ron. So for me, Par, despite my ranking Huda's just a really entertaining troll. Despite me ranking Huda and Asha so highly, I generally like just really kind, good characters, and Par has like no negative traits for me so far. She's just been good and kind and friendly with everybody. Same with like Teo, to me has just been good to everyone, which is why Teo is so high. That's probably why Ron is my #1 favorite. They've just been good to people. But then like entertainment value and stuff like that adds up for other characters too. And with Par, in addition to her just being like kind and good to everyone, not as funny as like Lorraine or anything, but Par's design is so unique among them that I think that props her up more. Of course, haha, waifu, she's attractive. I think that I said before that for like Valentine's Day, so really just a couple weeks, I would do a waifu ranking. So if I do a waifu tier list, then Par might be #1. Par might be the top. She might be best girl. But in addition to being attractive, just looking at the lineup of characters where they're kind of just anime character with colored hair, Par is a furry, but Par stands out. She's different. I like the uniqueness of the design, and that's what I like about a lot of the halves and a lot of the Shura. So I love the way that the Shuras and the halves designs stick out. So I think that adds to why she's so highly ranked too. Just being like a good, nice person, but in addition to being a good, nice person and interacting good with the characters that I like, having a good design on top of that. And then Pate says, first I was horny for Par, but then I just really liked her as a character. Same here. Both. Me for both. And then just a bookworm, I love characters that are good with people too. That's true, there's no one like Par. So I think it's the uniqueness of the design being appealing, but then also the same things I like about like characters like Teo or Ron, I also like about Par. And then our top 3, how I would order them. I think this is probably a good order. I love Lise, but I still think I'd put her in 3rd place. I think I'd still put Cossack higher. Even though I feel like there are some things with Cossack and in his interactions with Yuta that I'm like, is Yuta dragging Cossack's character down? There are some things that I'm not huge with their interactions, but I still love Cossack so much. So I'd still put him above Lise, I think. And then I think Ron is still #1 for me. Just because Ron, again, like I said, really kind to the others and extremely developed. When it comes to the characters that I think are developed the most, that have the most going on with how they think, how they act, what we've seen of them, it's Ron, it's Lise, it's Gantharva. I'd say Teo's maybe getting up there, God Kubera. There's still enough mystery about God Kubera that I don't think I can necessarily say that as much. Agni we've gotten to a lot of, but I guess I'm kind of getting off a bit because that's not nearly as much as Lise. I think that Lise has just been like, Lise and Gantharva to me, when it comes to the depth of their characters, are the standouts. When it comes to, if you ask me which character is the deepest, in terms of if I had to write an essay on everything I know about them, Gantharva and Lise are the standouts to me when it comes to that aspect of them. But Ron is up there with them. And then Piper saying, I like moral and immoral characters, but with the immoral characters, I only like them if I can relate to them and understand their actions. I think, for me, entertainment has a lot to do with whether or not I like the immoral character. And then I wonder how Yuta's development could have went better in your opinion. I like the design. I think his Shura form is maybe... His Shura form reminds me of like a Power Rangers creature. So it's a little silly. But I think his overall design is fine. I just think that I have these urges, and we have to include the blood, and the edginess of the way that he interacts with Lise is the Donald Duck, oh brother, that's a bit much from Kingdom Hearts. Oh brother, that's a bit much. It, again, like I said, it's kind of like edgy Twilight romance at times, and it's a bit heavy in that respect. But I think that I also don't really like some of the possessiveness of, if her relationship goes bad with this person, that means she'll be around me more. And, I just want to have her all to myself out in the wilderness or whatever. Some of that, I guess, is just a bit like, for me. So I think that is how it could have gone better. He changes visually, but despite there being less conflict that way, he just kind of stays as the same character, his personality-wise. I think the shift in personality is what I dislike. I also think a big part of it for me, is that Yuta was one of my I don't remember where I ranked him in Season 1, but for Season 1 and the very beginning of Season 2, Yuta's one of my absolute favorites. And I think that if I was like, I like Yuta, but he's not one of my absolute favorites, and his personality changed, then I would not have as much of a reaction to it. But imagine one of your absolute favorite characters in the series, and it's like, okay, we're going to change that character's personality. And it's part of the story, it's part of driving the conflict, but it gets less enjoyable to me when it's like, you're going to take one of your favorite characters and we're going to change their personality. It's like, no, why does it have to be one of my favorites? And then Pate says, when I was reading Season 2 with my friend, we were also kind of shitting on Edgelord Yuta. Definitely less enjoyable than in second stage, but trust Kurigan. And Corey says, yeah, he definitely has too much dumb, horny teenager energy right after the development. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that it's the things I said before, but it's also just the fact that I think if any character was like one of my favorites and then they changed, then it's like, okay, you're changing something that was one of my favorite things. I think that kind of plays a part into it. So I think this is going to be my final list for right now. But like I said, we'll do a waifu list in a couple weeks, and whenever we finish out the season, which probably won't take that long, maybe like half a year at the most. So sometime this summer, we will do an end of Season 2 tier list. Plus, if there's any other videos you want me to do, just let me know and I can do other videos. Thibaut says, it reminds me of people shitting on Holden Caulfield. Yuta's an edgelord teenager, which sort of fits. So, and then Piper saying, for me, I didn't mind the change because it made so much sense for his character considering what's going on with him. And then Rooster says, to me, I understand it is Yuta basically going through puberty, pretty much. And Pate saying, interesting character ranking. So yeah, I think this is what I'm feeling at the moment. But like I said, we can rank things again in a few months. Because honestly, when I was preparing for this, I looked, and the last character ranking was only 7 months ago. So we did 100 chapters in 7 months, which it feels like it was so much longer ago. It feels like it took so much longer. So really, by the time we do 80 more chapters, it'll probably just be sometime this summer. And then some very controversial choices for people who are caught up. True, you have to remember this is completely ignorant me who has just met some of these people, or some of these people have only done very, very little so far. And then also some are it depends on the part in the story. Maybe they're at a really good part in the story and they get worse later on, or maybe they're kind of like not the best now, but they get better later on. Piper says, I personally would put Ron number 1, then my number 2 and 3 are both spoilers. Tebow says, I think the most controversial is probably Claude. Yeah. I find Claude very entertaining, but I often don't know what to think of him when it comes to whether I like what he's doing or not. And then, yeah, Corey's saying if we consider later stuff, the choices are, yeah. I think it does depend on, like, where I am at the story, obviously. But, yeah, if any of you want to talk about anything, I'm cool to chill and talk for a little bit. But yeah, if not, we'll do continuing with the read-through, and then if you have anything you want me to do other than rankings in the usual read-through, just let me know. Seeing the characters move up and down in the rankings later on will be interesting. Piper says one of them's a character you know, but it's specifically to do with what happens in the future, and the other you haven't met. So, yeah. Any predictions for the rest of Season 2? Let me think. So, we're about to have an attack on... Sorry, I'm just foggy-brained. The attack on Rend Hollow, right? That's the one they're attacking? Yeah, because Eloth is the one that Saha's at, and Rend Hollow is the one Lila's at. So we're about to have the attack there, and some of our characters are going there. I'm assuming that everyone's going to get wrapped up in it, unless it's a Night That Rained Fire situation where we cut away from the characters we've been following to follow different characters. I don't think that's going to be the case. To make the thumbnail for this, I went back through the prologue, and there are definitely things in the prologue that I feel like I haven't seen yet, so I don't think we're getting rid of these characters or, like, shelving these characters for a while. So I think we're going to get wrapped up and going. I think Lisa's going to end up going so that Yuta goes... Asha's going, and then I think because all of them are going, Ron will probably get roped into it as well, and we'll probably have everyone there, and then we'll have another attack. And I don't know how this attack will go, because the past attacks have both been somewhat similar, but they've also been so different in how they've played out in the end. So I'm not quite sure. I mean, there is the big similarity in how they played out in the end, which is just Cossack showing up and then it ends. But, yeah, I'm not sure, other than we're all going to get roped into this attack. I don't know where else it goes from there. I would hope that we finally work things out more with Lee's and Asha's relationship, but I don't know if that means it gets better or it gets worse. So yeah, I'm just not sure. Oh yeah, Corey says Yuta just left. True, Yuta just ran off. I think that Yuta still gets wrapped up in it somehow. Or maybe not. Maybe Yuta takes a break for a little while. Like, maybe Yuta pulls a Guntarva, and both Guntarva and Yuta are just out of the story for a little while. I don't think so, though. I think if Lees goes to the city if Lees goes with Asha, then that's going to, again, maybe be one of those morally gray bad things that Asha's doing again, where she's going to bring Lees there, and when Lees inevitably gets in danger, that's going to cause Yuta to show up. And that's going to be Asha basically forcing his hand to show back up there. So I'm not sure. But I think all I can think of is the direct future, just because that's all I've been set up for personally. Let me get some water. But yeah, if that's it for now for everybody, I think, let me check the stream. I guess I'll end whenever, if anybody is so excited for your opinions on the whole arc. I am very excited. So yeah, read-through will be next week, and then we'll see how much time I have. I was going to say I'll probably do the read-through and the waifu ranking, or maybe I just take the week off from read-throughs of everything that I'm doing read-throughs of and do waifu rankings for them instead of read-throughs for that week. I'm not sure. Pate, did you see my question above? At the end of Season 2, will you be doing a ranking of characters that appear after Chapter 100, or redo all Season 2 characters? I can redo all Season 2 characters, or I can redo all Season 2 characters. I could redo every character we've seen so far. It depends on what you want to do. You made the list. graciously and thankfully. So whatever you want to make the tier list as, I will happily do. I just very much enjoy doing this, and it saves me from having to make it myself, which was very helpful to just have you and really all of you here to help me with things when you are very much more knowledgeable than me on Kubera, because there is very much much more to go, so you know a lot more than I do, so you probably know what's the better way to do things. But yeah, I guess I should probably go ahead and end things instead of dragging things on too long. But yeah, if any of you want to keep talking in the comments, we can talk in the comments. Any of you want to talk on Twitter, again, I'm always fine with that. Any of you want to talk on Discord, just ask for the link in the comments and you'll get it. Corey's saying, I think remaking the list with all the characters would be nice, but maybe remove the who are you characters if they don't show up after this. True. I think that's fine. Like, all of the important characters, but then if there's any characters that I just said who are you and they don't show up again anyway, all I would do is throw them in who are you again anyway. So, and then doing all the characters can help you remind you of some, says Tebow. So yeah, that's true as well. And then thank you for the stream. Thank you for being here, Corey. Thank you so much for all of you who were here watching. Thank you for everybody who watches in the VOD. Thank you for keeping me company in chat and all of that's very, very fun. I really love it. So yeah, thank you so much for all of you being here. And I guess I'll go ahead and do the little outro thing and leave. Like if you did like the stream video, if you're watching the VOD, comment down below whatever you thought. Give me your own lists if you want to. I'll look at everybody else's lists. What's sad though, I wish I could let you link things. I have it set to allow links in my comments, but YouTube still just, I feel like, auto-deletes comments with links in them almost all of the time. So it's like, even though I have my settings a certain way, I can't, like, do it. So that's frustrating. Subscribe for more Kubera, much more on the channel. I have a lot I want to do with Kubera videos still, like I've mentioned. Then, yeah, if you want to help support the channel to help keep things going by dropping a super thanks down below, it's appreciated, or by becoming a channel member or a patron. You get your name at the end of videos and also One Piece videos a little bit early. So thank you to people who are already patrons and channel members. Let me throw that screen up here. I could have probably already been doing that. Thank you to Chosen Regular, Evan Holly, Magical Girls, FRNono JA, and VD Ban. Sheridan students, David Langstaff and Fold Ghoul, Slayer candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Element, Pateo de Owl. Thank you so much for sticking through things despite the awful voice stuff I was dealing with at the beginning. And yeah, I guess I'll see you all next time. And also, I'll just keep yapping a little bit here at the end, because after saying see you all next time, I really, genuinely don't know when this will end. It always just cuts me off mid-sentence. So, thank you to everybody in chat saying thank you. Yep, see ya. Ugh.